defined difference between being present and having a presence is being present is a place where you can give value away, demonstrate value, share value. Always needing to when your desire is on being being known by your presence, it's a need for value. It's almost like you're begging for value, right? If you're on social media or all this and you're working in your presence because you want somebody who flips through all these things, you want them to see you, catch their eye, and give you attention. You become a beggar for attention. This is the broken place that we've developed in the world around us, because everybody deep down, one of the largest things that people don't realize about themselves is a need and a desire to be seen and to be heard. It's innate. It's in us. And we live in a broken society where we've been invalidated in these areas by our parents. You look around when everybody in the family is on a phone, when kids are trying to get their parents' attention and eventually just stop and go back to their game system or their phone, there's this place where we're not seen, right? We live in a world where we've seen movements raise up because people have just gone being unheard, that are struggling and being put down, that are going through hard times in their lives, and they're just not noticed. We just move on about our business. We go on about our day to day. And it's in that place of not being heard that now the loudest voices in the room, because they've been told you need to have a presence for people to realize you. No, what we really need is just a group of people to say, I want to be present with somebody. Like, being present is the place where when I walk in, I realize that I want to give value away because I have it. If I'm constantly trying to demonstrate my presence, then I'm constantly trying to earn value from you. Now you see the difference in these words, right? This is the stage mentality for the world around us. I recently was at a conference, and it's a conference that has been birthed out of a church that we started in our home called The Session. And through the years, it morphed into what we now call the Founder Collective, because what happened in that very safe and secure place is we started undervaluing the stage and overvaluing the table. When we started that, it was like every other church. We would have some songs, and then I would stand up, and it was in a living room. So there really wasn't a stage. We couldn't elevate. I didn't stand on a coffee table or the bar or something. I stood on the same floor as everybody else. But in that moment, because they were seated and I was talking to a microphone, I was elevating what I'm having to say. So in that moment, through those a couple of years, as that began to develop, slowly that all got peeled away, and we stopped doing it the way it had always been done. And we really just begin to sit week to week around a table and share, whether it be food, whether it be conversation. And I learned the power of listening. And in order to listen, you have to be present. See, presence, having a presence, is all about you standing out above everybody else. Being present many times puts you in a position where you are called to serve, to listen, to humble yourself to those people around you. So now, if you look at this through a conference lens, we go to these conferences, we go to churches all the time with these larger than life people, these larger than life pastors, worship teams, all these things that when we walk in, there's almost like this awe that we have because, oh, I'm in this presence of this person. They're going to say something that's going to change my life. But realistically, what we do is we don't ever get to a place where we can see ourselves to their level, because their presence always outweighs our presence. So then we go week to week, we go through our life constantly being in the presence of people who we see above us, and we never realize that we have been called to move in our own space up to that level. So over this last weekend, I was at a conference. Our conference is the Founder Collective, which is what the session morphed into when the power of conversation, the power of the table really became evident to us. Now the Founder Collective, and this was our first year of FounderCon. One of the things we've walked through is we don't want a bunch of speakers who have to be paid to come in, who you're going to get to fly in, speak 15 to 40 minutes, depending on if they're a keynote or not, and then walking out the back door because they were there just for their presence. The money we give them validates their space there and them coming. the applaud and people in that moment of stage, because there's really no conversation back and forth. People are going to say, "Oh, that was so good. Oh, give me a hand clap," and all the things that validates them, fills up their tank. They supposedly empty out in that moment of giving to you to something, but realistically, it's a prepared moment. Yes, I'm not downplaying what they've gone through to get there. I'm not downplaying the hard time and information that they've stewed and generated through the years. I'm not invalidating it at all. Those people have put in work, especially if you get those who have gone through doctorate programs, who've gone through studies and all of these things. They walk up with valuable information. But I think there is so much more power in getting and connecting with people beyond the stage. So FounderCon, one of the things we've really begun to steward and harvest is we want speakers who come, who have something to bring, but also will stick around and enjoy the process, enjoy the conference from start to finish, being available, coming to be fed almost, not just coming to give you something and walk out and say, "Oh, look at me, I did this, I was a part of that," but to genuinely come and be a part of something because they know that in a power of a conversation, you have something to bring and you have something to gain. That's where you get people across the table from you that you never know could change your life when you begin to listen to what they're saying. So we've really desired people to come in and just be present. You may be speaking in this moment, you may not be speaking. We've had people who come and were a part of it one year that are speaking the next. We've released there's been people who haven't been invited back because they didn't want to come back unless they were speaking. Like, that's a limitation that we wanted to overcome, because you don't see that in most conference environments. The people out in the seats are coming because they want to come to hear this person. They want to be in this person's presence. But realistically, the moment that could change the room is the moment that person becomes present. The moment that maybe their whole talk shifts, everything they prepared because of a conversation they had leading up to the stage, they realize this is something I need to talk about. This is an area of my life I've never shared before because I've prepared this about this that I want people to know. But in this moment, a conversation I had with somebody now opened the door to say, this is what I have to share right now because somebody needs to hear this. I'm talking about it from a stage environment. I'm talking about it from a conference environment, but this is so much more important in our personal day-to-day, everyday lives. I've shared about families and how we see the smartphones overtaking, because if you've had this in a parent, you'll know what I'm talking about. I've seen parents and witnessed parents who want to have a presence. When they walk into the room, I demand attention. You see this in fathers a lot, like larger than life. I'm the dad and you'll listen to me. But realistically, they're never present. So the only thing the kids know about them is their presence.